My friends, it is finally time to rank all of my mineral sunscreens. Yes, that's right, we are splitting this series in half, but at least we are starting it. Today's video is going to be ranking 10 different mineral sunscreens in total. Alternate title, how many headbands can one person own? In case you are new to this channel, please know there are timestamps and links to everything we discuss in the description box below. But a quick intro for today's video. This is a video that I've been working on for a long time, in which my goal is to really compare and contrast all of these different mineral sunscreen options. You see, what I've noticed is, you know how we talk all the time about how skincare is so much about personal preference in terms of finding the right products for you? I suspect that is amplified even further when we're talking about sunscreens, and even more when we're talking about mineral sunscreens. So I know there are a lot of people who say, I just haven't found a sunscreen that I like enough to wear every single day, and my goal in today's video is to help demystify these mineral sunscreens, and hopefully you can find one that you will like for your needs. My goal is to not make a 45-minute video, by the way. My goal is to condense this. To do that, we are going to focus primarily on how these sunscreens apply, how they feel on your skin, how they look on your skin, as opposed to discussing every single ingredient in each one of these. I think that is great to see how many of these sunscreens have added benefits, but that's the main appeal for me in finding a sunscreen is, protecting myself from UV rays. So that will be the focus. I will, of course, tell you which products are fragrance-free and which ones are not, and we will have a breakdown of the price as well as the price per ounce. I will also use the gifted emoji to indicate the products that were sent to me in PR, although again, no portion of today's video is sponsored. It is all only my own opinions. And that means, of course, feel free to leave your comments in the comments section below. You do not have to agree with me. You can bring in additional input on any of these sunscreens or on any others. So with all that said, let's get into today's video. Get ready to see a lot of my face. I know, because I have mostly finished the video at the point I'm filming. Ooh, it's a lot of my face, y'all. I'm so sorry. But hopefully it's all helpful. The first category for today's video is your standard daily sunscreens. Let's go ahead and get into it. In the number 5 spot, I chose the Think Sport SPF 50 sunscreen. In some ways, I feel mean putting it last because it actually has a very important place for me. As you may guess from the name Think Sport, this is made for sports. It's made for being outside, having that SPF 50 protection, and also not a bad price point. This means it is very long wearing, it is water resistant for up to 80 minutes. It's an incredible sunscreen for swimming. However, it is not a sunscreen I enjoy at pretty much any other time because it does leave a white cast. But sometimes I don't care. I would rather look a little pasty at the pool than deal with the repercussions of sun damage later. So it has a place. In the number 4 spot, the Kinship Self-Reflect SPF 32. Now, this is a lot of people's personal favorite, so I'm going to explain to you why it's my number 4 pick. I have a full video on this if you want a longer explanation. But basically, I get the appeal. It does have this nice peach tint to it that, makes it easier to blend into your skin. But for me, I feel like it's a little bit heavy. It's a sensation thing for me. And yet that also means that it doesn't feel too drying. However, know that it also does leave your skin looking very dewy. That's another personal preference aspect. So just for me, it's fine, but it's not a personal favorite. In the number 3 spot for mineral sunscreens is hilariously my most used sunscreen, the Biossance Squalane and Zinc SPF 30. Now, this one is a little bit more expensive, but there are some pros to it that I think you will really like if you have my skin type, if you have dry skin. Basically, this one applies like a moisturizer. It feels moisturizing on, it blends into your skin very easily, and it doesn't cause me any kind of problems. It is a fully fragrance-free sunscreen that's actually not even too difficult to remove. Personally, I love it. I love the finish of it, but again, keep my skin type in mind because it may not be for everyone. My second favorite mineral sunscreen is a Korean sunscreen, the Peslo Safe Recipe SPF 50. Now listen, prior to trying this sunscreen, I truly thought that all mineral SPF 50 sunscreens looked like the Think Sport one. I thought it was impossible to find one that is perfect for everyday wear, especially that is also much more affordable. This Peslo one blew my mind. Again, I also have a full video on this one if you are interested, but also know it does contain rosemary essential oil, so it will not be for everybody, and also know it does take a little tiny bit longer to blend into your skin. But an SPF 50 that looks like that absolutely blew my mind. And finally, my favorite mineral sunscreen is an apology video, practically. I'm so sorry that the Dr. Dennis Gross Lightweight Wrinkle Defense SPF 30 is so beautiful, because it is also quite pricey. But oh my goodness, if you are one of those people who says, I cannot find a sunscreen that feels nice on my skin, doesn't irritate my skin, and doesn't leave a white cast, this somehow checks all of those boxes. It is so fast, it is so beautiful, and it feels like nothing, and I frankly don't know how they do it. But I guess perfection comes with a high price tag. Now, because I love comparisons so much, I also wanted to show you swatches of all of these sunscreens side by side. Now, notice something right here. This is very fascinating to me, and I didn't realize it until I did this. Each one of these tubes distributes the product a little bit differently. So in particular, if you use the Dr. Dennis Gross or the Kinship, make sure that you have enough product actually coming out. If it helps, remember that you can use a 1/4 teaspoon measure to adjust to using the proper amount of sunscreen. Anyway, I'm continuing to show you how all of these buff into the skin side by side, and you can see pretty much an increasing trend as we get to the Think Sport sunscreen. Again, though, these all serve different purposes. I hope that this comparison helps you to figure out which of these is the best option for you. And a final roundup of all of these everyday sunscreens. We don't have to show Think Sport again, do we? I don't think we do. I think you get the picture that it does indeed leave a white cast, but again, may have a place for swimming, for hiking, etc. And the price is not bad either. By the way, this big one here, the 6 fluid ounce size, is $22. Not bad considering how much you get. The other 4, which I will once again put up on the screen, I will say Kinship, while I don't particularly love how dewy it looks, it's so dewy, I will give this its own personal advantage in that because it feels heavy on your skin, I think it also feels the least drying out of all of these options. I think that all mineral sunscreens, by their very nature, have a little bit of a drying sensation to them. I mean, we're talking about minerals. What else do you use minerals for? Face powder? So Kinship did a good job in that aspect. I think that it doesn't feel drying at all. I don't know how they did it, but I guess I do because they made it feel rather heavy as well. If you want a less drying sensation, but you don't want quite the heavy feeling, that's why I like the Biossance sunscreen so much. It's a good in-between. Maybe a little tiny bit more drying than Kinship, but it doesn't look or feel as heavy. It's a good in-between, and this one also, while the price tag is a little higher, they do have a larger size, double the size, the $30 size here for $42. The Peslo Safe Recipe, I still can't get over that that's an SPF of 50, but it looks like an American SPF of 30. It is a very well done product, but Dr. Dennis Gross takes my heart and also my money. To just simply summarize the Dr. Dennis Gross Lightweight Wrinkle Defense, it just doesn't feel like a sunscreen, which is an almost impossible thing to do, especially with mineral filters. Let's talk really quickly about tinted mineral sunscreens. For this video, I excluded all sunscreens that only have one tint, because that's a little strange, is it not? Does every person on the planet have the exact same skin tone and color? Why do some companies think that? We may never know. And also, quite importantly, I feel like a lot of the SPF-containing foundations are horrific if you apply the right amount to get sun protection, which is, of course, a 1/4 teaspoon. So we're just down to two options in today's video. But just like with our first category, I feel each of these has a specific place. So let's start with the Unsun Mineral Tinted Face Sunscreen SPF 30. I'm actually wearing this one today. I will show you the full application of this. Now, this one comes in two different shades. This is actually a Black-owned brand, by the way, so they have a light medium shade and a medium deep shade. This is the only other sunscreen in this entire video that claims to be water resistant for up to 80 minutes. And so, like with the Think Sport sunscreen, I do feel that this one has a little bit of a heavier feel as well. And yet, talk about a wonderful find if you do want to go to the pool, but you don't want to have a Mark Zuckerberg moment. This is a fantastic option for you. Now, I will tell you honestly that with the initial application of both of these, it's kind of amazing how bad they both look. However, again, because these are tinted mineral sunscreens, I think what's actually going on is the same thing that happens if you apply foundation, but don't put a powder on, or put any blush on, or any other additional makeup. I think that makeup products can really make your skin just look so one-tone that it starts to be in uncanny valley territory. So I think you're going to see that in these clips, but again, keep in mind, I am wearing this one today. So that's something to keep in mind. I think that both of these are kind of more of makeup products with full sunscreen benefits than just, you know, your everyday sunscreen for people who don't wear makeup. And then the Tower 28 Sunny Days SPF 30 Tinted Sunscreen. I put this in my Best of Beauty 2021 because it is so mind-blowing. I don't know what's more mind-blowing, how good of a product this is, or the fact that it's the only tinted mineral sunscreen on the market to have a true huge shade range. How come other sunscreens don't have this? Why is this the only option? It is incredibly well done. It feels incredible on your skin. It does not feel heavy. It does not feel drying. It does, like with the Unsun sunscreen, look a little odd when you first apply it, but again, as I already mentioned, I do have a full video showing how this wears, and it is one of my absolute favorites. I really think the only drawback with this one is that the tube is only 1 ounce, which makes it one of the more expensive options in today's video, but if you really want a quick makeup sunscreen option, it's the best. Let's make the next category mineral sunscreens for touch-ups, and specifically this applies for those of you who are touching up on top of makeup. I'm just going to be fully honest with you here and say I don't think there is a perfect option, which is why if you're going to the beach, I would just simply suggest not wearing makeup, or at least not foundation. Mascara is fine, you all know, but I don't think there's a great option for this. However, I do have some to discuss here. So first of all, the Make Prim UV Defense Me Calming Sun Stick. I actually like this. I actually think this is a good option, especially if you don't want to touch your skin. Now, that fact alone is going to make this not 100% perfect because you're going to be gliding it across your skin, and the recommended way to apply this is to glide it across your skin and then massage it into your skin. But I think we've all been there where it's like I can't touch my face, but I want to retouch my sunscreen. So again, it's not a perfect system, but it's something that I think in a pinch you can do, and I know that for a fact because I keep this one in my bag at all times. It is a good option for this, but again, not 100% perfect. I would not recommend you do this every single day and then be in the sun for hours at a time. But if you're not going to be in the sun too much, you just want to make sure you are as protected as you can be without touching your skin, this is a really good option. I will also be honest and tell you I have an option I prefer more when we get to chemical filters. But again, I know not everybody will be able to use this. Now, the second option I have is the Mad Hippie Sheer Mineral Sun Spray. This is the only SPF 25 in this entire video. I kind of went back and forth about including this one, but I've ultimately decided to, if for no other reason than to tell you something very important that I think a lot of people don't know. It seems everybody wants to find a spray that you can just spray on your face like you spray a setting spray and you're good to go. You're protected from the sun. It's not realistic. It's not realistic because what you really need from your sunscreen is a complete layer of it on top of your skin, and you just can never achieve that with sunscreen. Have you ever used spray paint? You spray paint something, you see it's just a bunch of little dots. That's the problem. There is likely a lot of your skin that is not protected from UV rays. So if you actually read the directions on all sunscreen sprays, they will say to spray it in the palm of your hand and then pat it into your skin. That's not the company being mean, even though it might feel like it. It's that they're trying to make sure you are truly protected from the sun's rays. I've also discovered that spraying 2 full pumps of this equals a 1/4 teaspoon in a much more liquid format. So that does make it easier to just kind of tap gently across your makeup. Again, in all truth, I don't think this is a 100% perfect method either. Do you all think we'll ever have a 100% perfect method? Wouldn't you think we already would? It's 2022! I think what you will find is that this works better with some foundations than others. I think maybe more matte sunscreens already. If you're applying this over a much more dewy sunscreen, foundation, I feel like it breaks it up a little bit. But again, in the evenings, it's a good option to just get a little bit more sun protection, and that's what I use it for. Oh, I didn't even realize this until just now, but this too does say 80-minute water resistant and fragrance free. I want to throw one more category into this video, and that is SPF-Containing Moisturizer. This category gets such a bad rap, but all you have to do is make sure you're applying that 1/4 teaspoon amount to reach the SPF on the label. I would absolutely recommend an SPF of 30, such as this Perricone MD Photo Brightening Moisturizer. However, oh, look at that price tag. Oh, look at that. This is the most expensive product in this whole video. Bet I don't pay full price. See my Ulta videos for more information on that. That's also kind of interesting to throw this one in here since it is a titanium dioxide option. And while it is a very pricey product, as you will see here, it is indeed quite beautiful. And just another option for sunscreen. My friends, I think we've done it. I think we finally ranked 10 mineral sunscreens. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and please do stay tuned for part 2, which will be chemical sunscreens. It's still completely bizarre to me that I am able to use any chemical filters, but I actually found quite a few that worked for my sensitive skin type in 2021, and that video will be coming. Thank you all so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to like and subscribe. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you all next time.